I'll start with Jai Bhavani. Oh, okay. Swaraj was not built with just one battle, right? It was built through vision, planning, discipline, and execution. And if you see, so is the movie, right? So is a heavy creature work that we work on. So today I'm gonna just walk through a small edit that we have done. Hope you like it. Can we please play the session? Can you pause? Yeah. For every movie, before we start, we have a director's vision of what he wants. He explains us. He goes through the whole like a process of what he actually wants this to be. He doesn't want to show us how we want to build this creature, but he wants to explain us what he has in his head, like what he wants this to feel like. So this whole started with Ritesh, where he just briefly went through the whole sequence with us. So can you please play ahead? So there's a small clip of him actually briefing us of what this would look like.
Value. Now you come and fight in this ground. Okay? We'll continue this valley like this.
This is how we start off with. We have storyboards and we start concept based on this idea that we start with.
Into
valley, mountain and foliage.
Correct. But ये क्या है ना ये mountain.
And I think working with Ritesh it was amazing because he came up with a lot of ideas which we'll talk about later. Stunt whiz. So I think the most important thing that we start with the fight sequence is the stunt whiz. Oh, thank you. This is very helpful. Hello? Yeah, this is much helpful. Stunt whiz is where, it's the fight master. He's the director of that whole sequence with Ritesh, bringing a vision with the VFX what we have to do. So this is actually in a very small place where they shot the whole fight sequence, like a stunt whiz. This is important for us to know what kind of safety measure we need to have. Would we need wire works? What kind of shots we would be playing with? So can we just play this? This is a storyboard and a little bit of his stunt previews that he put together. And they were really nice to put some, rough bull assets that they had. But it kind of gave us a vision that where we want to start with. So pause, can you pause? So, it was interesting. From here he said, this is nice, but I want to have some really good shots. I want to have something over the top. I think this sequence is something which we have never seen. And he wanted us to collaborate. He wanted us to give us more ideas on what we can do. So we actually came up with a lot of things based on what he had done in the stunt whiz and mixed that with our previous. So when we play this, you would see, he wanted the bull to make an impact. I think that's the story point where it hits the character. So he wanted that to come up, like he wanted to make that alive. After that, it was like, places, and this is a massive bull sequence, right? He wanted those bull to come and attack all these soldiers and give that impact to us. So if you just play and have a look at, you can pull out some of these small, sections where it just made that sequence a little more than just bull running and rampaging to those characters. We looked at a lot of footages of, the Spanish bull fight, a lot of references of bull tossing these humans. So we just put this together, and this was a good breakdown for the stunt team to see, and we then plan out how we're going to shoot this. And I think the beauty of this was this helped us to even measure and know how big the set would be, how long the set would be. So let's play this. Of course, this was done in Unreal. Unreal is an amazing tool for doing all these small previews. The impact of the bull entering. This is, he wanted the bull to get crushed and Of course, that looks crazy. I think the gore of this was the whole point. He's like, make it gory and make it look like it's there's no chance they will survive this, right? Practical set, yeah, we can play that. Again, based on the previous, started looking at how the set would build up. I think our department kind of worked with us very closely of how big this place would be. Can you lower down the volume, please? Hi, can you lower down the volume, please? Yeah. Our set ready on shoot started. Quite a big set. We had, of course, Cinesight with us. They were very good help. They actually, helped us to plan this sequences. How are we going to plan this with the stunt team? It was a great experience working with them, and I think with their help we just elevated this whole sequence. Shoot day, of course, the best part was all the planning that we did. We were very sure that we had to do all these 7 parts of where the bull would enter, how it'll come on the face. So I'll just play these. You can just have a look at these sequences. Of course, that's one shot where the bull gets, crushes this man. So this is one of those clips. Taking that take again without the blue, the blue padding, just to get that different. Can you pause here? Yeah. You guys have seen, we talk about chrome balls, we talk about Macbeth chart, all these things. So these are extremely important when you're doing a creature work. That Macbeth chart is my way of calibrating my Maya or my Houdini to know what kind of lighting, what kind of, colors that I'm grabbing from the set. And this is with actual camera which was shooting that one shot of the bull. The chrome ball is my reflection, what the environment looks like, and the gray ball is the light direction. So the whole environment is very soft lighting. I think Ritesh wanted this to feel more like a occluded kind of a place, like shadows are very soft. So yeah, just play please. This is a shot where he's actually hanging on the bull, like hanging on his head. Yeah, cleaning that was not easy. Client's edit. Yeah, can you pause? Yeah, I think this is where we started putting together our previs and the edit. We did all the whole shoot. We did all our 7 important shots that we took in, and now I think the part was to see how the flow is, how we can chop it, how we can make this look better. So if you can just play. Yeah, can you play please? If you can see the entry of the bull, we have a plate for this. Yeah, this is an interesting shot because in the end, I'll show you, this became like a full CG shot. We already saw some of that being shot. Can you pause? If you actually see, a while back we even made a stuffy of a bull with the size. It's actually very helpful for while shooting that you have this blue stuffy running. You can it gives you an idea of the scale of the bull and how many will fit in that whole section. Yeah, if you can play. Yeah. These are some of the other elements. All this put together, it just gave us an edit, but I think the more hard work was to actually animate based on this. This is one of our last shots. We saw that earlier before. A wider shot to just establish the whole Purandar fort. And an extreme wide shot. Okay, post-viz, just like I discussed, we did all our edit. I think now the beauty is for us to start animating those bull start putting them together for the scale, how many we can actually fit in. How can you make this sequence still look amazing with animation, and it gives an idea to the director, like this is the speed of the bull, this is the flow that we're going with. So if you can play. Almost similar kind of, yeah, this shot actually became like a full CGI shot because the way the camera had to turn, there was not enough room for the camera to go this kind of way. So that was a whole full CG shot. I think this is actually beyond a bit of post-twist. There's a little bit of animation as well. Yeah, again, all those key moments that we spoke about. Yeah, this was a very difficult shot to animate the bull as per that character. We already shot that character with on the blue screen. We've not put the crowd yet because that will happen in compositing later. Yeah, can you play? Is it playing? I'm sorry, is it playing? It's not playing anymore. Yes.
Your last slide.
Sorry?
You think this is your last slide?
It's not possible. You want to check? You want to check this pen drive again?
Yeah.
They were 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, but
Just see if we can play.
okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. He's saying that that's my last slide, but there's so much to happen. There's still the color to show up. While this is happening, questions, please. Any questions? Yeah, please. Can someone give him a mic, please?
What planning you have been done for this entire
you come.
sequence when the bullocks are running behind behind the soldiers? Have you taken the reference of movie Bahubali to do this particular shot?
Actually, it's best to take a reference of a live scene. Like I mentioned, we looked at a lot of, movie like Spanish bull fight that run. We even have Indian bull races.
Is this a reference of Gir guy with huge horn? Gir bulls.
There was no specific reference, and I'm gonna walk. Hopefully, this would play next. Basically, we really spent time on building our asset because it was not just one bull, right? He said these bull have to be very massive, right? He wanted very specific colors. So the asset exploration was very specific to what kind of tail it would have, what kind of face it would have. So it's not a very specific animal, but yeah, of course. That being said, it's an Indian bull, and his whole brief was the whole thorn are supposed to be pointing ahead. In order. So as a matter of fact, let's look at the asset build.
Is it was whole the path animation is being used for bull and that soldiers to run?
There is no path animation, but further in my slide, we start with doing walk cycles, we run cycles, we build a lot of cycles, right? It's
Okay.
never that you animate straight away on a shot. You
It's
always
true.
have assets that you build in. So there's a hop cycle, there is a, like a, he's tossing those people, there's that cycle. There is something which, I think the bull falling on the character is actually a very custom animation.
Yeah.
Right, so
And some of the shots in bull running, the legs were skipping out. I've been seen noticed.
I think what you saw, there's a yellow shoe, like below it. It's basically for contacts. So what you saw here was just the ground itself, and there is still animation to happen, and there is still color to happen. So when you see it with the color, there won't be any slide. So this was just a post viz where these things were. Okay. All right. All right, let's play the asset build. Again, like I mentioned, a lot of references what the face would look like. He actually kind of chose from which one he liked. The tail, which he would like. Yeah, I think this is like a nice breakdown of what muscles were. This was all Houdini process, what the tissue would look like, the moving tissue. And of course, our final bull with fur and shading. Yeah, can you pause? Yeah, I think this is exactly what you were asking. So there's a head shake cycle, there is a run and hop cycle, there's an interactive cycle. And these are just not 4 cycles, these are like, I think we made some 4 to 5 variants of bull. And all of them had these cycles, and then we did custom animation based on what the shot would be. So let's play. Yeah, like I mentioned, we did a lot of cycles for the bull. A little short breakdown, yeah. Can you pause? Can you pause? Yeah. I think there was a time where we realized that the whole set has to be built fully CG, especially when we are doing this one long shot of bull running all the way with that straight camera. We had to change this whole set part on the left, which actually whatever the art department build was not merging with the whole set, because when you go with the wider shot, you have this whole mountain. So we had to change this, the whole wall, also the ground, to make sure that when the bull are actually running on it, you have some interaction, and blending this whole thing with everything. So for us, the best control was to make this whole thing into CGI. So if you see this, we actually didn't use the shoot set, we build our own, and it's not a very complex set, so it was best for our control to build each and every element for it. So if you can play further. Yeah, you can see that this whole ground. Yeah, pause. Yeah, I think the most difficult thing for us was to match those characters when they were shot with the bull animation. And there was a lot of comp work done, a lot of animation work done, and in the end, I think when we had a lot of dust and merged everything, it just looked very good. I'm gonna leave this with, and you can raise the volume, a few shots of this with my favorite music from the film. So I hope you enjoy it. After this, we have a small section of the elephant asset that we worked on, an elephant section. So I hope you enjoy this. Yeah, please play it. Okay, pause. All right. From the bull, we go to the elephant. There's another sequence in the movie where we have this elephant of Afzal Khan dying, and just like the bull, we did the asset breakdown. There was no previous or post-twist for this sequence because it was a little straightforward sequence. So if you could just play this one. Of course, shooting with their assistant to help us with what kind of action it's doing. Just giving us cues for what the action would be. I think at this stage the elephant is dead. Just like bull did the whole muscle, the bones, it had to move exactly like a real elephant. And this is something we learned from Chava, that you have to build a proper asset with all muscles, and all, it has to sim exactly how a real elephant would in the end. A bit of short breakdown of this whole sequence. Replaced few trees in the back. I think they were around some 6 to 7 shots of this sequence. And yeah, can you pause? I think this is where it gets tricky, right? And this is something I was talking to another friend of mine. Having a real reference and doing an animation very specific to that shot or what is required is where it gets tricky, right? I don't think we've really seen a footage of an elephant dying, right? This is where it takes a lot of iteration of, how will he fall? What's the weight of that creature? And this is exactly what even with the bull was like. The bull is actually, pushing all these characters, or they're killing. He's tossing all of them, and it's not just the reference; it's the artist's skill behind it, and days and weeks of doing animation, doing a sim, putting it together in a shot. Sometimes doesn't work. Go back. It's not a straight linear path. There's a lot of back and forth, a lot of rendering, comping together, and I think the real magic is when you see all that shot put together and you master shot put together, then you realize that yeah, this is what's working. Yeah, let's play. Yep, that's it. Thank you so much.